Hello there, how's it going? This is the third video for for loops, and in this one we are going to talk about making numerical lists. Specifically, we are going to talk about the range function. Range is a very common and useful function, and in this video we will talk about what range is and how do we use it in our for loops. So before we talk about the range function, let's say I wanted to create a list with the numbers 0 to 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I can manually type it, of course, because they were only from 0 to 5. Now there is a problem, which is what if I wanted more numbers? Let's say to 10 or to 100 or to 1000. Now typing becomes tedious. That's why we have a range function. Range actually generates numbers for us, and numbers are very useful in programming. So in order to use it, we use the function range parentheses, and in the parentheses we are actually going to type 6 because it starts from 0 and goes to the last number but does not include the last number. Starts at 0 and goes to the last number but not included. That's the basic idea of range. So let's go to our code and let me show you how we use it. Then I will show you a few more examples because you can do a lot more with range. Let's open our console, interactive console. Let's do range and 6. Now you won't see the numbers because range actually is a generator. You don't need to know what a generator is. In order to get the numbers, we put it inside list. Now you will see the numbers 0 to 5. As I said, it starts as 0, but it does not include the last number. And let's talk about more options. So let me scroll a little bit. You can actually provide a first number as well. So let's say I wanted to start at 2. Let's say if I wanted to start at 2 and then go to 5 it will start as 2. It will include the first number, but it will go to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see that example. So first we need to do list in order to see the numbers. Otherwise you won't need the list. 2 to 6. Now as I said, it will not include 6, so it will only go to 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And finally there is a third argument, the third input we can provide, which is the step size. So 2, let's say we start at 2, we go to 6, but we have a step size of 2. It means to jump 2 numbers. So normally there is only a step of 1. So from 2 to we are going to 3, to 3 we are going to 4. Now it is actually going to make 2 jumps and it will go to 4. And then 6 and so on, but 6 is the last number and last numbers are not included, so we will only get 2 to 4. That's the basic idea. So to summarize, range can take one argument, that's the end, or it can take two arguments, start and end. start and end, and finally it can have a step size. How many steps to take, a start, and a step size. For the most part you will only be working with the first two, because most of the time we only need a step size of 1, which is the default. So you don't need to worry too much about the last one, but it's good to know. So let me show you the step size. List, range, 2 to 6, and a step size of 2. Now let's say if we wanted to get all the even numbers to 10, how do we do it? We start as 0. Let's say 11 because we want 10, and we have a step size of 2. And we'll get all the even numbers from 0 to 10. You can, in the same way you could get all the odd numbers, right? We start at 1. Now you can go to 10 because we only want to go to 9. And the step size of 2 again, and we will get all the odd numbers. That's the idea of range. Now we can use range to create a for loop. Let me show you. So touch range example.py, and let me open the file range example. So I can do for num in range, let's say 5. Now I can print num. Let's clear the screen and do range example. We got 0 to 5. You see? It is starting at 0 and going to 4, and it is giving us one number at a time. Now the most common use case of range is to repeat a code a certain number of times. As we said, our for loop works on a list. So if we wanted to repeat, let's say hello world, 10 times, what you could do, you could create a list called nums, and you could store 10 items in it. It doesn't matter what you put, honestly, but it needs to have 10 items. Now we started at 0 and went to 9. We have 10 items. Now I can do for num in nums and print hello world. It will print hello world 10 times. Python range example.py. Now that's the problem with creating numbers manually, because it just takes effort and we could make a mistake. That's why we have something called range. Range will create numbers for us. We type 10, it will start from 0, goes to 9. It will give us 10 numbers because it starts at 0, but it will not include 10. Now we don't need our nums, and we can repeat our hello world 10 times. Python range example. So this is it about range, and I guess this is it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.